When I was cut from my high school's football team my freshman year, I decided that wrestling would become my main sport. While at the time I lacked the strength and experience that many of my teammates and competitors had, I tried not to let that discourage me. I didn't want to make excuses for myself anymore. I'd played numerous sports before high school and was remarkably mediocre at all of them. I hated it. I didn't just want to be okay or to just be a part of the team. I wanted to personally succeed. Wrestling gave me the platform to do precisely that. With just you and your opponent out there on the mat, you're held accountable for every move you make. Losing a match is not only devastating, but it is almost always incredibly painful. Having your neck and limbs forcibly contorted until you're twisted into some helpless human pretzel pinned to the mat is even more demoralizing than it sounds. But nothing at all compares to the feeling of pure euphoria if your hand is raised at the end of a match, knowing that you and only you earned that victory. Those moments were why I wrestled. Most other considerations were secondary. I saw very limited success in the sport for a long time. Nonetheless, I had been attending practices year-round through both my school, Shenendehowa High School, and through Journeyman Wrestling Club for almost 3 years before I got a chance to wrestle in my first varsity tournament as a sophomore. The only condition was that I weigh in at the 120-pound weight class, and herein lied the problem. I knew this was the only way to get myself in the lineup in such a big school, so I told my head coach I can make the cut. After all, weight cutting is just a part of the sport. 1 week before the tournament, I was 10 pounds over, so I slowly began to chip away at any surplus mass. I ate much less and ran after every practice. As it grew nearer and nearer, I drank less and less water and added multiple sweatshirts to my runs, trying to sweat out every possible ounce, but it wasn't enough. The day before the tournament, I was still almost 5 pounds over after practice. I spent the entire 4-hour bus ride to the event spitting in a bottle. I ran for an hour at the hotel, wearing every article of clothing I had brought with me. Constant pangs of hunger and thirst kept me up all night. Dangerously dehydrated and barely conscious, I stepped onto the scale the following morning and made weight by 0.2 pounds. But my triumph was short-lived. Shortly after weigh-ins, a referee spotted a small dot of ringworm on my forearm. I had sworn it was a bug bite, but it didn't matter. I wasn't allowed to compete with a skin infection like that. It had all been for nothing, and I was furious. It was several months until I got another chance to break into the varsity lineup. Enormous road bumps like this always made me question my commitment to the sport. Was it really all worth it? There were so many times where I could have quit and walked away from it all, but for some reason I never did. In and out of season, I showed up to every single grueling practice. I skipped countless meals and ran for countless hours to make weight year-round. Progress was slow, but it was definite. My junior year, I held a position in the lineup for the whole season, and my senior year, I was elected to be a team captain. I finished the season at second place overall for my weight class in the sectional tournament, proving all my hard work wasn't in vain. My time wrestling in high school was undoubtedly one of the most formative experiences of my life. The sport requires perseverance, steadfast dedication, and outright suffering unlike anything else I have ever experienced. There is never anyone else to blame for failure, except for yourself and your own shortcomings. Wrestling taught me the importance of always giving it everything you have, of leaving it all out on the mat. It affected my mindset for so many other aspects of life, whether it be school or work or anything really. You have to put your time in if you want to be successful, and hold yourself accountable for when things go wrong. All in all, wrestling taught me to be thankful for road bumps, because without them, I wouldn't be who I am today.